This meeting is being recorded.
Hello, wonderful. This is Sarah, and raise your hand if you would like to be a little more confident. There are certain things in life. I hate to use the word like truth, like this is the truth, right? But there are certain things that it's just like the truth. And I've never heard anyone say, gosh, I just really worked on my true confidence and it just ruined my life. Like, it was just terrible. That's not what happens. What happens is, excelling in relationships, excelling in work. And so Julie DeLucca-Collins is the founder and CEO of Go Confidently Services and the host of the popular Casa DeConfidence Podcast. And she's also done some other cool stuff that we'll get into as we talk. Hello, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. Thanks for having me today. Thrilled to be here.
So you've written 2 books. I'll go ahead because your first book goes into what we're saying, right? So go ahead and give people the title of that.
Yeah. So the first book is Confident You, Simple Habits to Live the Life You Have Imagined. I am in the process of writing the second one. It's in my brain, though.
So you and I both really connected on both the confidence piece and then the habits piece. So why don't you tell our listeners, what those two have to do with each other? Because I think a lot of people listening will be like, what do habits and confidence have to do with each other?
Well, as a tiny habit certified coach, and I will preface this by saying, any certification or training I take is because I am my best client and I want to be able to coach myself through life. But one of the things that I know for sure as a former educator and throughout my life, habits in being able to be consistent and do the work that you want is what eventually helps you reach your goals, your success. But ultimately, when you do the thing, then it builds your confidence. We get that record like, oh, I did that. And the more that that we do the thing, the more that we feel confident, then it builds our motivation. Most people feel that they need to feel motivated to do the thing and then they will get confidence, but it doesn't work like that. You have to be able to willing to be the person that tries, that fails, that shows up to do the thing. And habits is very important. And as a tiny habits coach, one of the things that I teach my clients is that you're never going to feel confident in doing the thing if you want to start at the end in mind, right? Most people want to be fit already. Most people want to have the 6-pack or be eating healthy. But change doesn't happen like that because the motivation that you had the first day that you were starting is going to go away. The motivation is not going to sustain you the harder the task it is. So you begin by creating a little tiny itty bitty habit. And that could be maybe I will drink a glass of water after I get up in the morning. Or, and that is my tiny recipe for drinking my water in the morning. And I let my dogs out every morning. And while they're doing their thing outside, I fill my first glass of water or my water bottle, depending on if I left my water bottle upstairs, right? But then I fill that first glass and I drink it. And here's the key. I celebrate the heck out of it. Like, yay, me, I celebrate. And I give myself a high five or I smile or I do my little shoulder shake because celebration and feeling good is what helps your brain create that habit and really put it into your neural pathways. So it's very important.
So it's really interesting that I've found in my work that people, because everybody, after toxic relationships is interested in confidence, right? And people talk about confidence in terms of self-worth rather than in terms of self-integrity.
Oh, so good.
Right? Which is, I'm going to follow through on what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
Like I did my water this morning and I thought about it intentionally. I was like, oh, I should drink some water before I do this, And it's like, okay, I told myself I was going to drink water. I did drink the water. I trust myself. That builds confidence.
Absolutely. Trusting yourself is something that people really undervalue. And I think that this is a little bit of where we are so quick to go into the beatdown of the things that I didn't do, right? And this is where another thing that I work with my clients is on building that mental fitness. We have this sabotaging judge that is always telling us, you didn't do the thing, you didn't show up, you didn't, fill in the blank, right? We all have that judge. But the ultimate thing is that if we can take that other voice that says, hey, I did drink my water or I drank and celebrate that, then it diminishes the voice of the judge. That is the one that is keeping us um, in that pattern of, I didn't do it, so why should I bother? Or I feel bad and I'm going to fail again. And, where if you say, oh, good job, you drank your first glass of water, and you celebrate that, you want to crave that. So that record is so important to keep and to stop listening to the judge. And really, we all have it, but it's a matter of self-command and finding the sage inside you that will help you build the consistency in your habits by showing up in the tiniest of ways. Because they stack up. If you're trying to fill a bucket with a drop of water, it's going to fill up. You just have to be patient, but be okay with being in the moment of that process, as opposed to like, I'm going to just turn on that faucet really fast. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have this faucet going and you're going to get distracted by life and walk away. And that bucket will tip over, and then you won't have a bucket that's full.
Mhm. I gave that sabotaging voice in my head a very specific job. And this has
Mm,
been really helpful to some of my people. It's like, okay, we're not going to get rid of the voice, but
yep,
how do we get the voice to work for us rather than against
yep.
us? And so my voice, I wrote about it in my book Problem Solved, and it says, Sarah, if it doesn't work, stop doing it. Like that
Oh,
is that I save that sabotaging judge voice
yeah,
for that. And then it's not sabotaging because that is
yep.
always true, right?
That
That's
is
a fact,
always true.
always true, right? If it's not working, try something else. Or if it's not working, stop doing it. Don't do the
Yeah.
same thing over and over again, hoping to get different results. That's a terrible
Insanity.
insanity, right? Einstein said it. Actually, I don't think Einstein said it, but they quote him as
Yeah,
saying
I
it. So
forget who said that, but it's such a good concept, and I think that we forget. And I think that the way that you are teaching that is so true. Many people are afraid of stopping doing the thing, but they really are driving themselves insane because they either it's convention of society or the expectations of others that we carry, but ultimately that's never going to make us feel good. and
Mhm.
and then we're resisting the change. And yes, we have to be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable to go through change, and that's what that voice will kind of push us to. But
Mhm.
really analyze, is this where I want to be? Is
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
necessary? Is this true?
And the statement, is this true, is so important in the confidence conversation
Mhm.
because I think a lot of people try to get confidence through like affirmations or new
Mhm.
blue jeans or whatever. And you and I were talking about that self trust, that self
Mhm.
integrity, that the putting the drop in the bucket. And those
Yeah.
are all action words. Those are all
Mhm.
action oriented. It's like, okay. And I heard one of my life coaches, he said, okay, I'm going to pick up the cup of, this is actually smart mushroom. Oh, it's got a little S on it. I'll show it for
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
my little S cup. Yeah, this is actually not even coffee. It's like smart mushroom brain food.
Ooh, I've been
Yeah.
hearing about this. I need to get more on you on that.
It, I mean, it's done pretty well for me, you know, and
That's awesome.
it's kind of expensive, honestly.
Mhm.
And it's like $100, I think, a month for the creamer and this. And
Mhm.
I remember like I was thinking, gosh, is this really worth it? You know, and it was that sabotaging voice. It was like,
Yep.
is it working? Yes.
Yes.
Can you keep doing it? There's the
Right.
decision. Like
There's the
decision made.
decision. Oh, so good. That's a great framework, Sarah. I love that.
Well, check it out in my new book, Problem
Oh,
Solved.
I'm gonna have to do that.
No, but Julie, you know, I do want to make decisions easier for people. I'm super passionate about it. And that is a piece of confidence, right? When it's like,
Mhm. Yep.
okay, is it working?
Yeah,
Right? Move
absolutely.
forward.
Absolutely.
But I really want to emphasize what you just talked about, the drop in the bucket and the action
Mhm.
words, because when we try to get confidence through affirmations or telling ourselves we're pretty or new makeup or jeans or even making more money sometimes, you know, if it's like, oh, I'll be confident when I make this much more money, or I'll be confident when, you know, but it's always really, really, really going back to, did I pick up my cup? Yes.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yes.
setting down my cup. I told myself I was going to drink the glass of water in the morning. I followed through on myself. I did what I said I was going to do. And it builds those beliefs in your
Right.
head, right? Those tiny
Absolutely.
beliefs in your head.
Yeah, and I think that this is where a lot of people go wrong. And I'll give you an example. Pre-pandemic, um, and I have an autoimmune, so I've been on a journey to health, most of my 30s into 40s and now into my 50s. And I've struggled with weight for many different reasons. And I realized, like, you know what? I'm going to create a food plan every day. And nothing will be off limits. Nothing will be off limits. And I have a weight loss coach. She's phenomenal. And I work the plan that she's laid out. There's four basics. You drink your water, you eat when you're hungry, you stop when you're full, you create a plan every day, and you get sleep. Those are your basics. You get your 7 to 8 hours, whatever your body needs. And that's all I wanted to do is create my plan daily. And I lost 40 pounds because, and here's someone who from her 20s on had done Weight Watchers, this diet, that diet, the whatever. And all I had was a record or data that told me I was terrible at dieting. I was terrible at dieting. No, not so much dieting, but losing weight. I could never lose weight was the story I had. And then what I started to do is I started to say, is that really true? And you know what? All I am doing is I'm setting out to, again, tiny habit, make my plan daily. I'm going to write what I'm going to have for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. And at night, I'm going to look through and say, yes, I did that. Oh, I didn't. Okay. No judgment. Move on next day. And that's how I lost my weight. Now I continue to be on this plan of just continuing to do the four basics, but really that record of seeing like I showed up for myself.
Right.
I kept my word to Julie. And on the days that maybe it wasn't what I've been doing, then I didn't judge it. I neutralized the thought that told me I wasn't good enough.
Mhm.
I neutralize it by saying, "Hey, I'm human. I'm not meant to be perfect. I can
Mhm.
do it again tomorrow and I can start again tomorrow." And that's a lot of where people, go down the rabbit hole or go down the spiral of, "Oh, I'm so terrible. I didn't do it." But go back and look at what you did right. I will tell you, I am a big person for data. And in helping my clients build their business, I make them go in and, maybe they're trying to grow their presence on social media and they say, "Oh, nobody sees my post," or whatever. And there are some vanity metrics. And I think that that's very clear out there, but go in and see, is it as bad as you think it is? And even for your business, if you're not checking your numbers, you may think you're not making any money, but you do have consistent clients that are paying you, right? So go back and look and find the real data to really inform your actions moving forward.
So, Julie, tell people about what you do, and good segue into that. You're talking about your clients, so tell
Thank
people
you.
about what you do.
Excuse me. So I'm a business and life strategy coach. And I am a little different from a lot of business coaches in the sense that anybody can really teach you how to be able to prioritize your time, get your niche. What is your message? And in my former life, I was a C-level executive for a business in New York, and I grew the company to multi-million dollars. And I worked for another company in which I expanded several markets. So I do have that business experience. I can teach you email marketing, but the bottom line is that if I can teach you something and you just don't implement it, then you're not going to get traction and you're not going to grow or get the results that you want. So the one thing that I do, and again, because this is how I grew my business after being laid off from corporate during the pandemic, is I needed to create the simple habits. I needed to create the framework to find that effectiveness, to build my confidence and, go confidently for me is, and everybody's heard the quote, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. If your dream is building independence, leaving your 9 to 5, building your business, that is so achievable as long as you have the habits behind you, right?
Mhm.
Because if you pay for a business coach and they'll teach you how to do email marketing, or they'll tell you do this, or get a course. And I mean, we can go into a lot of different directions. The bottom line is that how you run your day, how you show up every day, the actions, again, consistent action gets you traction. And I say this all the time because it's that drop in the bucket again. And then when you see what you're able to, like, oh, I did that, then you start to replicate the work. The habits, tiny habits, the beauty about it is that they're like plants. They either propagate and grow, or they really expand. And don't ever be afraid of starting small, because the small wins are the ones that make you feel good and create the change, create that confidence. And I love red lipstick. I'll put on a red lipstick, but when I'm not wearing that red lipstick, my confidence is not there. But when it comes to speaking, I can go back and listen to my speaking. I can go back and to see the stuff that I have done and accomplished, and that builds my confidence in who I am, and what I am doing, and that trust, because we are in a relationship with ourselves, right? And I am never going to have a more intimate, close-knit relationship with anybody else other than me. I have a wonderful husband. I have great family and friends. But at the end of the day, I am the one who has to see how I showed up. And I am the one who can be the cheerleader or the judge. And the judge won't let us move forward.
Yeah, I say it from birth to death. The only person you're stuck with is you.
Yeah, so good, Sarah. This is why we align so much. And I think that
And
connecting
everything
with
you say,
you.
I'm like, yes, Julie, yes, Julie,
Yeah,
yes.
we're really on the same page. And I think that this is the message that people sometimes miss out on, right? That yes, you have to have the right support system. I get it. You are the sum of the 5 people you show up with. Absolutely. I understand. I'm 100% for that. Your affirmations, they'll give you confidence. I do affirmations every morning, but I can tell you the most confidence I get, it is from seeing what I've been able to accomplish and celebrating myself and giving myself credit. Most people are afraid of seeing who they are and building the relationship with who they are, because they they are either not true to who they want to become because they're living by the expectations of others, or they are beating themselves up for what's happening or happened in the past, and never, looking to see that there is an opportunity again to start again. Just like when you meditate, right? You may be sitting there and you're in this very peaceful moment, and then all of a sudden you start to think, oh, should I get gas here or there when I go to the store? Oh, but wait a minute, what am I going to buy in the store? And you start going off, and most people then go into like, oh, I could never meditate. I'm always distracted, and all these thoughts are coming in. Yes, that's what's meant to happen. That's what your brain does. Your brain is meant to have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. So when you're meditating and you're having a thought, that is supposed to happen. And what is supposed to happen next, and what gets you to the next moment, is realizing like, oh, I'm thinking about the groceries. Wait a minute, let me take a deep breath.
Right.
That starting again is what builds, again, your muscles, what builds your mindfulness, your confidence, and allows you to keep showing up and grow better at what you're doing.
And when you talked about having the relationship with yourself, I know a lot of people who follow me are looking for healthy relationships. And that's definitely what I keep saying. It's like, okay, so let me get this straight. Your strategy, you talked about being, life strategy. So your life strategy is you don't want to commit to you. So you're hoping to find someone else who will commit to you. Or your life strategy is so you don't know who you are, but you're hoping to be loved for who you are. Okay, your life strategy is, and I'm just like, does this make sense to you? Is this logical? I mean, does that feel like I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm not trying to be emotional. I'm asking if that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's not what they can say that to me. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. So it's not offensive. Right. But if I say it to you and it is offensive, it's because that's what's happening.
Right. Absolutely. And I think that as coaches, one of the things that we do is, you're going to laugh. Okay. And if you're putting this in YouTube, people will see it. But you see, I have a mirror right in front of my desk. And yes, because I like to wear red lipstick, but also because I like to remind myself to be true, to show up it because um there is the person in the mirror who I'm accountable to.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And ultimately, I can't take action um to please everybody because I'm never going to be able to please everyone. Even the people that love me. I am never going to be 100% who they want or need, but I can be 100% who I need and want because that is going to give me a greater sense of accomplishment and peace. And it's going to make me feel like I belong. And many of us don't have that belonging feeling because we're floundering, trying to become something else.
Julie, where can people find more out about you and your work?
Well, thank you so much, Sarah, again for having me. My website is goconfidentlycoaching.com, and I am Julie DeLucca-Collins on all of the socials. Go find me on TikTok. I have a lot of fun and unrestricted videos. Not that they're, crazy, but I I don't know. There's something about TikTok that lately I am really enjoying. So go find me in all the
Oh,
platforms.
I'm on TikTok. I would not say I'm enjoying it. It's more of like, oh, I need to be doing this. But Julie, I'll tell you a secret about me. You talk about being confident in your red lipstick. So I've always had really large lips, and you can't even see my eyes right now because I had an eye swollen eye this week and I'm in glasses. Everybody on YouTube's like, I didn't know she wore glasses. I don't, but here they are. But it's funny because I have purposely not worn dark lipstick throughout my life because then it's like all you can see are my lips because they're actually really large. So half the time, even on camera, like I hardly ever have, I might have clear lip gloss on. That's it. It's just like my lips are so naturally big. So I'm gonna do a shot with like red, straight up red lipstick. I don't know. I'm gonna
Go
put
for
myself,
it.
and I'll have to tag you in it
Okay,
because
tag me on it, and you're going to laugh because look, no lie, I have two. I keep at least two or three, and depending on the day, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wear this one, and this one that I'm wearing today is not so red, but this is my favorite, and I probably have been wearing this, which it is. I love it. I've been wearing this since the 90s. It's a Revlon that they still make in the store, and I go in and I get it. And the day they discontinue it, I'm gonna be really upset.
as many as you can. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and I pointed out to our listeners to say, like, I mean, I truly consider myself a very confident person, but confidence, there's a difference in being confident as a public speaker versus
Mhm.
as in a bikini at the beach
Yeah.
versus as a parent versus as a business owner versus having a really hard conversation. And so
Mhm.
in the conversation around confidence, it was funny that you picked up on something that I'm actually not confident in. It's like I don't wear
Yeah,
bright,
you don't have to
right?
start big, right? You're just gonna like, you know what? I'm gonna try. You're going on a cruise. That could be a great place. You know what? I'm gonna go and do a really, fun look because it's out of your comfort zone. You're
Uh-huh,
trying
uh-huh,
something new and see how you
uh-huh.
feel. And yep. And if
That's
anything, by the time you have dinner, the lipstick will be gone.
yo, that's true. Oh, my daughter would love it. She would love if I would wear more makeup.
Yeah.
I didn't even learn how to put on makeup till I was 30. So I grew up really conservative. And I
Oh
was the kid
wow.
in high school, like playing
Mhm.
guitar in coffee shops, right? So I
Love
was a
that.
cheerleader, but I would go to school with like wet hair and wear like clothes from Goodwill that I would like consignment shop, like just
Yep.
crazy things. I would play guitar in the coffee shop. I mean, that was like I was in high school in the 90s. So that was like the era of
Yep.
Friends and stuff. I mean,
Yep. Yep.
kind of cool to be that way, but like that's who I was,
Oh,
and
I
now
love
people,
it.
oh, you're like this makeup person. I'm like, no, no, I'm not. I just
Oh
happen
my
to be on
gosh.
camera a lot, so I had to
Sarah, you're
learn.
so much fun. When I come to Nashville, and actually my friend, my weight loss coach is in Nashville, and I visit her often if I can. So yeah, so maybe we'll have to get together when I come, and we'll be friends in real life.
Friends in real life. Friends in real life. Julie, thank you so much for coming on today, talking about confidence. You guys check her out, and we'll put all her info in the show notes. And Julie, thanks for helping us become a little more toxic person proof.
Thank you, Sarah, and don't forget, go confidently in the direction of your dreams.